representing one of the harder types of clients you're ever going to represent. Idiot teenage boy, just a mischievous teenage boy, not a druggie, not out drinking and driving, not out trying to do criminal damage or, you know, ripping a store off. No. It's doing frankly, boys are habitually stupid, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was being mischievous. It kind of backfired on he and a friend of his that's equal to him. I mean, they're co-defendants. They're both good boys. Just, you know, pulled a dumb stunt. So, getting the state to isolate them or to make them or treat them differently than a hoodlum or than a true delinquent is always challenging. So what we do here is we get them, you know, trucking on certain things, community service, a couple of classes, maybe go and, you know, volunteer at the pound or, you know, with law enforcement ride-alongs, stuff like that. Soup kitchens, those types of things. Let them do a few things that really kind of are eye-opening and probably something that's good for everybody in general. You know, the goal, or, you know, the ends justify the means. And the means here is patience, and that's really challenging for folks that are not used to the system. And it's good not to be used to the system. It really is. You don't want to be used to the system.
Yeah.
It means you're a roper. It means you're a reoffending person. Now you're used to the system. That sucks. You don't really want that, but gosh, a little bit of a deep breath, and I'm doing my level best. So that managing those expectations are always, I'd say, one of the harder parts of these things. You know, it went about as good as it could have gone. A lot of being successful in court is knowing when to speak and when not to. When to listen, when to pounce, when to be quiet. There's a reason why God gave you 2 ears, 1 mouth. Use them. I mean, at the end of the day, today worked out great because this particular judge is fantastic. And he's got stones. And he's not afraid to rule for what he thinks is right. And you could tell that his shift, his lean, is toward my client, the co-defendant. Problem with that is you can't drink that Kool-Aid too much. You can't rely on it too much. You just cannot. Until you see it, until you hear it, until it's ruled upon, until that gavel drops, it's not so. So it's like what my granddad said, it ain't what you know that gets you in trouble. It's what you think you know that ain't so. They shouldn't have charged this case how it's been charged. So we can go to trial and get what they're offering right now. So whoop-de-doo-dah-day. We got no carrot. There's no reason for us to take this. So we had to make that known to her today. Like, you know what? No, this thing should have been charged as a misdemeanor from the get-go. You went and did your usual run-of-the-mill overcharge. And you know what? We're going to slam it down on you this go-around. We're going to kick the door in. They're good boys. And they're young. And so at the end of the day, here we are. And this is not an egregious offense, but it's being charged as one. And so it's like, okay, well, the state wants credit for, hey, we offered them this misdemeanor, and they're not taking it. Well, hold on, before you, and I think how I put it, before you fly your flag up too high, you overcharged it to begin with. And now you're wanting us to go, hey, thank you so much for the misdemeanor. No, how about you and your billy goat? You can beat that later.
Which one did you order?
Which one do you think?
I don't know.
Look over the order nice and neatly.
The large cheese pizza.
Obviously. Because, you know,
The pepperoni, sausage, jalapenos. But that was not too different than the one I ordered. You're gonna like the one I ordered. You need to have these.
So Dana, we are still doing pizza today then? Yes?
it's pizza day.
Yes. All right, cool. I'll get everybody's order and go get that then.
I'm so excited because, you know, I get to pay for it.
Did I do a good job on getting the pizzas correct, guys?
Well, I haven't eaten any so far, so Jordan's still out.
I would have been way more dainty with my eating.
If you knew you were on film.
I knew
I knew you were on film.
I'm gonna go die.
I've got 2 young men accused of this, so there's 2 lawyers in the mix, 2 defense lawyers, and a state prosecutor and a judge and so on and so forth. So anytime you got multiple parties, you've got a lot more balls in the air. What we were able to achieve since we last talked is we've got a settlement conference in the mix, and we've got a motion to dismiss that we're going to file just a little bit before that settlement conference. They have it charged as a felony 3. And the way it landed in that posture is because they said that it was over $10,000 worth of damage that was done to the football field where this happened. They added a 10 to that. It was $800, which actually puts it from a felony 3 to a misdemeanor. That's a significant jump. That's like Mount Everest, little tiny anthill. And so they should have charged it that way. And then from there, that changes the state's policy. That changes the policy that the prosecutor can work within, and that policy can be a diversion type posture, meaning if the juvenile does X amount of classes, some community service, and things like that, this particular juvenile can erase this from his juvenile record and earn a no charge, which is fantastic. That's what you want. Here, we've got to do a lot of work just to redo or undo what the state did wrong. And that does happen sometimes. Sometimes they just don't have the full picture in front of them. However, this go around, there's really no excuse. There was just a little tiny moment in time during that hearing where the state said, hey, we charged the best that we knew at the time. We'll hold the phone. They didn't charge this for 2 months till after it happened. Within 1 day's time, they knew how much damage was done to that field. It was $800, and they had that, and the date reflects it because the school had to redo it right away. They sat on it, and then they puked. They fumbled. So this was poor state work. And look, I'm not a hater. I mean, the state has a lot of cases in front of them, and they're trying to do the best they can to give them some deference. But take a peek at this, because this is the kind of stuff that ruins opportunity. Look, these are the things, in my opinion, that the state needs to clean up, are the things that can cut you off at the knees in life. If you're going to do a job, do it right.